I can't believe I'm actually on the Nerdy Brit channel.
You've done it so many times. I mean, my audience are all bored of you.
Okay, well, you asked me to come on here, James, so don't ask me on it and then insult me. I'm not here to be insulted, all right?
This is a great intro. Thank you very much.
Is this the intro?
Might be.
Well.
Hello and welcome. So today I thought we'd do something a little bit different. Now, as a lot of you know, I do a lot of musical theatre content on this channel, and I also have friends who are also into musical theatre. But what I'm going to do is be asking some musical theatre themed questions to one of my friends, Fandom Master. We'll never know. I might do another episode with him. I've got other friends that love musical theatre, so we'll see where this goes. So I think it's 8 questions for you. And then you feel free to ask me some questions after. I've also got my own thoughts on each of the questions. My first question is, what musical are you really into at the moment? Like, what musical have you kind of like maybe just discovered, or like you're like starting to discover that you're listening to, or any musical that you're listening to a lot at the moment?
Question. There's a musical I haven't actually listened to the original Broadway recording of this, but a film came out. I did a review on my channel, The Prom. I hadn't heard of it before the Netflix film came out. I wouldn't have watched the Netflix film, and it's actually all right. Some of the music's really good, so I've been listening to that a lot recently. There's the classics that I listen to a lot. Book of Mormon I still listen to every week at least. Come From Away I really like.
So you have mentioned my 2 responses to that, because I was going to say that through the film, I've been listening to the original Broadway soundtrack quite a lot for The Prom.
Okay.
The one song that I will consistently listen to the film version.
Oh, I hope this is the one.
Is Love Thy Neighbour.
What a song!
Because,
that is such a good song.
Because in the original soundtrack, it's Chris Seaver, it's Lord Farquaad, and the original version is all right, but the film version,
he does it so well.
Song. If and probably when I rank prom songs. Spoiler alert, that is number 1.
Yeah, glorious.
Also, Come From Away. I'm really getting to Come From Away.
I love Come From Away.
It's not one of those that's like top of my list to like see at the moment, because I'm still kind of like getting into it. But at the moment, that's one that's like I'm listening to a lot. So my next question is, what musical soundtrack have you listened to that you couldn't finish? After being quite a big fan of Hamilton, I listened to Amelie, which was the thing Philippa Sue did after Hamilton. It's shit. It was so bad. I listened to like the Act 1 songs. It was terrible. So that for me is the one that stands out in my head as like the musical that I listened to and was just like, no, not for me.
Watching them is different, especially for the first one. First one's Les Mis. Watching Les Mis, it's quite a good musical, but I cannot just listen to the soundtrack like on its own. I can't do it. And the other one, which I think is going to be very unpopular, Wicked. I cannot finish Wicked. I cannot do it. I physically cannot bring myself to finish.
That is surprising. I mean, Wicked is one of mine that's like, it's okay. Like it doesn't deserve the hype it's got. Defying Gravity is very good, but it's overplayed.
I don't know why I can't get through. I just can't. I should, because it's Idina Menzel and it's Kristen Chenoweth. Like, what's not to love?
Exactly.
But I cannot. I just can't bring myself to do it.
My next question is, what is your guilty pleasure musical soundtrack? For example, one of the things I thought about is that Shrek the Musical, some could probably consider that as like that's not the type of musical people.
No,
like
it's not
like actual. That's kind of like a kiddie one. But then I would personally go, well, have you actually listened to it? There are some very good songs on it. I wouldn't consider that personally myself a guilty pleasure musical.
No,
what did I write down for me? My couple is Hairspray.
I was going to say Hairspray.
Hairspray
because it's a very like feminine like.
I've got a soft spot for Hairspray,
but it is very good. It's very good. I do like Hairspray.
Also, a thoroughly modern Millie. I am quite. I have kind of got into the soundtrack. It's
very
not
good.
You'd expect someone like me to enjoy, but I do quite enjoy a lot of the songs on it.
See, I think a guilty pleasure for me, Joseph, is people would see that because that's quite like a. People see that as like a kiddie show. because
Whereas
it's
that
always
for
done
me
with
is probably one of the
schools.
iconics, and that's one of the iconic shows. I don't think anyone could see that as a guilty pleasure show, which is why it's a tough question. On a slightly different tack, it might be slightly easier though.
Okay.
Guilty pleasure song. What's the musical theatre
Oh,
song that you consider to be your guilty pleasure? And I have a definitive answer for this.
I do as well.
What is it?
Okay, so straight off, it's from Susical, which isn't great, is it? Like, it's Other Things You Can Think. I love that song. I genuinely love that song. And that is the biggest guilty pleasure like that I have, is the fact that none of the I don't like the musical. That song though, I love it.
I mean, mine, mainly because one of our friends, Fabian, hates it.
Uh,
I know
I
it's
can't
the
see where you're
day
going.
from Shrek the Musical.
I'll
It's
give
a
you that.
very big guilty pleasure song for me.
No,
And
it's a
that, for
good
me,
song.
I think is a guilty pleasure song.
That
Because
is, yeah. Because a lot of people no.
that shouldn't be a song I like. And
No,
not
it really
only
shouldn't.
do I really enjoy it, but also the fact that one of my friends hates it means
Makes it,
that I really enjoy listening to it.
yeah.
So what we've got is I've got some musicals for you,
Oh, okay.
and you got to name your favourite song for them.
Oh, look at that.
So, Hamilton.
So immediately ones that come to head, there's One Last Time, Room Where It Happens, and Washington on Your Side. Whittling it down to one from them has been very difficult. I think One Last Time is just so good because of like how dramatic it is, the impact it has on the whole story. But then I love David Diggs, so him in Washington on Your Side. I Washington on Your Side just because I like how it builds.
Fair play, fair play. I
like the
will
build.
go with One Last
It's,
Time.
it's quite calm at the start when like it's just Burr singing, and then when Washington and Madison come in, it sort of builds. I'm
Book of
ready.
Mormon.
Turn It Off's obviously brilliant. I love Man Up just because I really like Josh Gad and I think him. So I think I'll probably go Man Up. Just I love Act One finales. I think that those are my favourite songs to listen to.
My favourite, Turn It Off, obviously.
Yeah.
Next, Dear Evan Hansen.
So I'd say It's Only Us. I think is an absolute. It makes me cry every time. It's such a good song. Sincerely Me is just like a fun song to sing along to. So I'd probably say Only Us.
I would go Requiem, I think.
Oh, I forgot about Requiem.
I just think the fact that it doesn't go along the conventional lines of just like boo hoo sad.
I love the dad's verse in Requiem.
It's a very brave choice, and it's a very emotionally impactful choice, and I appreciate it a lot. What about Shrek the Musical?
See, who I'd be has got to be like.
That's the obvious one.
Build a Wall. I think Build a Wall's a really good song.
Why do they play it? Why? Okay. Be more chill.
See, it's a very. The problem is with songs for me is because I like match memories to songs very easily. Like so when I listen to a song, I'm almost not listening to it as a song. It's listen to it as like a memory, but like as a song, if that makes sense. So if I was to go purely off that, it would have to be Michael in the Bathroom.
Yeah.
Purely because it is a good song, and
it's very
George Salazar performs it perfectly, and it is a very relatable song. But also the memories that I have attached to that song.
A couple more. In the Heights.
Okay. So, it's gonna sound like the common answer, but In the Heights, like the opening song, is
banger.
Obviously great. It's an absolute banger. The way it flows and like just shows everyone in one song is amazing. 96,000 is that the
96,000
song?
banger.
Yeah, I think out of those it would probably have to be 96,000, but very closely followed by In the Heights.
You have named number 3 In the Heights, number 2 96,000.
Oh, what's number 1?
For me, the best song I believe Lin-Manuel Miranda has ever written is Breathe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Just because, like, it's universally relatable to. I think anyone can relate to it, whilst it's not like an obvious pandering message, but it's such like a universal like type thing.
Yeah, no, I
Whilst
give you that.
also like the vocals and like the acting within vocals is so beautiful.
Mm.
And like I get emotional like thinking about that
Yeah,
song. I get
it is
emotional
such. I just love
listening to
In the
that song.
Heights. Yeah, I
And
give you
last
that.
one for all the GCSE drama England lot, Blood
If we say
Brothers.
Blood Brothers, oh no,
This
Blood.
this for me is hard between two. My two. This probably comes
Oh,
into slightly guilty pleasure songs.
okay.
Bright New Day is an
Oh, what a song!
absolute
It is
banger.
such a good song.
It slightly is a guilty
Yeah.
pleasure pick that. Bright New Day
Oh,
because
I
of
know
like
what mine is.
and also
Um,
Shoes Upon the Table.
yeah. I see. I was going to say, "Gypsies in the Wood." I think it's a good song. I love "Take a Letter, Miss Jones." I think that's a bit of a guilty pleasure, actually. "Take a Letter, Miss Jones" is just such a
A
fun
lot of
song.
Blood Brothers because there's like nostalgia behind that for a lot of
Yeah,
like
it was like what I was talking about with Michael in the bathroom. It's the memories as well of the songs as well as the songs themselves. I'm gonna say I'm not saying the word for top song
that is understandable.
because it is. What's yours? Did you say "Shoes Up on the Table"?
Yeah, it's got to be. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
Bright New Day, but it can't be number one. All of those we've just done, you've got to now think of your least favourite.
Okay. Oh, all of those ones we've just done.
Yep, Hamilton.
Least favorite Hamilton song, "Best of Wives," if you can count it as a song.
Agreed. Awful
Well,
song.
it shouldn't even be it. What an awful song.
Book of Mormon.
What's yours? Fill time.
Mine is between I Am Here With You and like Salt Lake City, but like spelled differently. But I
yeah,
think
I was
it
gonna.
is I Am Here With You because I've listened to Salt Lake City like a few more times and like
Yeah.
it doesn't crack the top 10. It's like there is some like good moments and funny moments, and I Am Here With You just doesn't work for me.
I'd say it's got to be "I'm Here With You" because I forgot that was even a song in the soundtrack because
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like it's not a number. It's literally just a 30-second song.
Dear Evan Hansen, it's
Yeah.
a break in a glove for me.
Oh, I actually quite like "To Break in a Glove."
Thing is though, that's the good thing about Dear Evan Hansen is that there isn't really a bad song. There are some like
No.
my main problem with Darren Hansen is a lot of songs sound the same.
Yes, especially to like the later end of it.
Shrek, for me, it might have to be I Think I Got You Beat, just because
Oh yeah, they ruined it at the end.
Blood Brothers, there are kind of just like a few songs on the soundtrack that just like
Yeah, Marilyn Monroe 2. It's like I don't care. Yeah, there are a lot of Blood Brother ones where again it's not like reprises, but it's like filler songs, and I'm like, yeah, okay, we didn't need that.
Let's just say it'll be one of the 54 Marilyn Monroes.
yeah, we'll say one of them.
So, what is the musical you most want a film adaptation for?
Ooh, that's
bearing in mind,
question.
This is tough for me because my answer would probably have been In the Heights before.
Yeah, well,
because I've made a video in the card about why probably a Hamilton movie wouldn't work, and I probably don't want to see it.
It's not a cheating answer, but it's not really the question. Can I say I don't want a musical film? I'd prefer a professionally shot version of musicals.
That's cheating because for me, every musical I want, I want that.
Come From Away, I think it'd be very good to be done as a film.
Like for me, I think my answer would probably be, I think a Book of Mormon film would be great. It wouldn't be made. They would never make a Book of Mormon.
Because I would have said Book of Mormon, but it won't be done.
Because that is not socially acceptable enough to make a Book of Mormon film.
So I think, I think Come From Away, I think it'd be a good film.
Lovely stuff. So now, just in case you fancy it, I've managed to put you on the spot today with some of those questions. Is there anything you'd like to ask me?
Okay. Have you ever been recommended a musical that when you've listened to it, you didn't like, but you've had to sort of pretend that you've liked it more than you actually do?
You two really like Avenue Q. It's not for me.
That's fair enough. It's a very it's like Book of Mormon, and it's a very specific type of humor. And if you don't get that humor, you're not going to like the show.
For me, like I would compare like Turn It Off to If You Were Gay. If You Were Gay, for me, is kind of just like, haha, some people are gay, whereas Turn It
Imagine.
Off is like very like funny and
Yeah.
satirical and like
Yeah. I think.
like,
Well, I'd actually.
it's there's for me there's too much shock value humor in like Avenue Q. Like, oh, the internet's for porn, haha. I mean, so I have promised a part 2 if this format works. If this format doesn't work, you will stop clicking on the video.
Wow.
Well,
part 2. Wow.
Do all the good things, like, subscribe. If you do anything, go over to his channel because, you know, we're a good person on this channel.
And podcast.
And
on my channel. 2. You've got 2 podcasts now, James.
So I did a podcast and a string of videos on his channel back in the day. We've just filmed another podcast like this. There will hopefully be more podcasts and good content and all that on his channel. So please go over that good stuff. And thank you very much. Bye. Subscribe.
This is Willany, and if you're not already subscribed to the Nerdy Brit, right, you should be. Right? If you're not, you're a loser too.